Can I ride you, steed?
I actually can't put my pants any lower, higher, or else my knees are exposed.
All right.
Come on, horsey, get up!
Yeah! Oh, I just gotta hold on. Nay! Ah! It's hard to hold on. Nay! Nay! Whoa! Whoa!
Come on, horsey, put on your pants!
All right, grab your phone. Grab your phone. Grab your phone and record this.
Bruh, somebody else do it.
Bruh, grab your phone and record this. All right, forward. There's someone else recording.
They're locked out.
Lock them out! We're all locked out. He didn't say. Oh, he did lock it.
Never have to hear this one worry.
That's what you get for riding a man.
That's what you get for being a man with no socks.
You have to make sure he has socks on his foot.
Pickles?
No, I need my phone. I need my phone.
You don't have your phone.
Yeah. Ah!
Get Shekels and get
I need my phone. I need my phone.
Don't worry about it. It jumps through the window again.
Oh, thank God. What is this argument about? State your case. We're gonna have a debate.
That the uncanon version of, like, the manga version of Family Guy could totally be like Stephen Griffin. Because there was an uncanon part in the manga where Steven Universe and Peter Griffin fused, and they got god powers and for 2 seconds, and they could totally beat Superman. This kid thinks that the light novel is 10 times better than the manga. I'm trying to prove him wrong.
I thought this was about... State your case. If Peter Griffin could beat Superman, and how and what?
Well, I'm just saying that Peter Griffin could totally beat Superman, and I think the best way he could do it was in the light novel, because not only is this an epilogue to after the manga, so he already has the super strength, the expansions on his moveset, the new techniques that he gains from his allies like Joe and Quagmire. But
Joe only gave him like laser beams, which did like 5 damage.
Look, okay, they were really good for strategic elements. Like, he was able to throw people off, blind them for a few seconds, cripple their legs. I mean, you know, it was honestly really useful in the tactical sense. It ain't all about raw power, but the idea here.
That's right, I
the
remember.
light
That's
novel,
how Joe lost his legs.
Yeah, I know.
Like
he was
Peter
kind of an
Griffin
idiot
shot
with
his
it,
legs.
but,
Yeah.
but the whole idea here, the light novel expanding on his powers, he's overall just the best version of himself in the light novel, even if he doesn't get the assistance from crossover characters like Steven Universe. He doesn't need fusion to take down Superman. He already has all of those crazy powers that have been confirmed to be close to planetary level, I think. I think he could go galactic if he exceeds his power levels to beyond hilarious levels, I think. Because like his comedic manifestation abilities have kind of much to be desired. I think they have a lot of development potential,
But he just doesn't use them. Which is why he can't beat Galactus. Remember? Like, he tried to beat him, but like his comedic level wasn't top notch, so he died. Remember, that was like an uncanon part.
He was kind of holding back during that. I mean, he could have very well beaten Galactus at that point, I think. You see, yeah, you're right, that was also kind of non-canon, but at the same time, I feel like, based on the information we had previously, I think he totally could have beaten him. It's honestly up for debate with that one. But at the very least, he could beat Superman. If he could go toe-to-toe with Galactus and put a pretty good fight with his
when he's
moveset.
not even trying.
Exactly, and you know, that's Peter's crux in the end. He got too confident. He really wanted to see Galactus at his full strength, and he just couldn't beat him because he got overpowered in the end. And you know, that's what happens with this non-canon stuff, man. Somebody's got to win, or you got to tie it. And I guess Marvel made a deal to have Peter take the fall. I mean, it just happens sometimes, man. I mean, even though it doesn't really make that much sense, I mean, Peter's way stronger than Galactus.
Because I thought in like 2016 rendition or remake, I think Peter Griffin did beat Galactus through the 6 power beers.
The
He
power
drank
beers.
Yeah, he drank 6 power beers, remember? And he gained like a plus times 100 strength boost. And
Oh,
he beat
yeah,
him
that's
with 1
right.
punch, remember?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and that was a really cool part. I really appreciated that. What they did with the artwork really made it look really serious and debating moment. I really like the emotion in that one.
That's like
too.
the only thing I liked from 2016.
Yeah, they fumbled some things. I mean, like, the line work had much to be desired, to be honest with you. The anime adaptation was kind of a shaky start too, but overall, I think they did pretty well on that one. Like 7 out of 10. You know, kind of decent. But
What I'm
not
saying,
brackets.
we're getting off topic. The whole point is like, I'm saying that the manga could like overpower Superman. You're saying the light novel can like. We're basically talking the same
would
thing.
totally
I'm
destroy
saying that like the manga version's better because its plot and overarching story was like 10 times better than the light novel. You're saying that he could just overpower him because that's why I don't really like the light novel. Due to the fact that it just focused on him being really overpowered and not the whole entire plot of how he got where he was and how he got there today.
That's a good point.
But that's the whole point here. It's the epilogue of the manga. That's why I picked it. Because at that point, he's at his strongest. So he could very easily defeat Superman. I mean, if you want to make the claim that manga Peter and like halfway through, like...
Are you saying it's
the
because of
recruitment
Chris? Dude, Chris, he, like, that's why he only
Chris
has,
is
like,
completely
overbearing
irrelevant
strength in
in
the
this
manga.
scenario.
Because Chris, he removed, like, a bunch of Peter Griffin's powers, which is why he couldn't really do that much to Stewie. Remember?
Chris got totally booted from the story halfway through, like, the 2nd chapter. Like, he became irrelevant as soon as he showed up.
But what he did was he stole Peter's powers. Remember that? It was like an offhand.
Yeah, for like a real quick make a gag thing, like for like 1 page, but I'm pretty sure that was just for comedic effect. I don't think that was legitimately canon.
But it is confirmed that Chris has the power to steal powers.
I guess if you want to make that claim, but this isn't about Chris. He was completely
No, it technically is, because in the manga, Peter only has like full-on strength. And in the light novel, he has like laser eyes, shock powers, freaking.
That's the
fucking
idea.
fist.
He's gonna need all the power he can to defeat Superman. That's the
Yes,
idea.
but in the manga, he has like all of that, but combined into one full-on strength buff.
That's all he had towards the beginning was his super strength. The whole point of the manga was building, like, was slowly progressing his powers. That's how a shonen works. But I mean, why not just go with the light novel? He's just the strongest.
Light novel
He's also
is
really
trash, dude. It has no plot. I'm telling you, it has no plot.
There's plenty of plot. Remember the freaking getting back together with Lois arc? I mean, that one's just kind of a headcanon title, but it was really cool, honestly. A lot of emotion tied with that one. But
That was okay. I'm not gonna say that was good. It was okay.
it tied up all loose ends, though.
What happened to Stewie then?
Stewie died.
No, he didn't.
Remember?
At the end,
He showed
of
up as
chapter-
like a cloud at like the very end of the manga, you know?
Yeah,
He gave the thumbs up and he disappeared.
At the end of chapter 19, he was like, thumbs up, remember?
Yeah, that's because he died. He gave a signal off, and that was it.
But
And that
he was
enabled
still there.
That enabled Peter to emotionally explode and activate his comedy manifestation. Remember? That's like his signature move. He gets towards the end of the manga, and then he expands upon it later in the light novel, which is where it truly manifests during the tournament arc, when he's fighting his arch rival. The chicken. Remember the chicken?
Oh yeah, the chicken.
The chicken.
I'm sorry, that
Exactly,
that
the
was
chicken.
he was totally shafted. I'm sorry.
Who could forget the chicken? Well, yeah, honestly, I feel like the chicken probably should have got more development. He clearly was like the main antagonist.
He didn't show up a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I think that kind of helped to like expand his whole intimidation factor. You know.
He wasn't overused.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
They used him at just the right points, but you know he was kept in the shadows quite a bit for the first few
Which
chapters
was
and the first
good
season of
because
the anime.
it built intimidation and overall fear
Yeah, and then when he
But
finally did make
That's
his
all he
appearance,
had. He didn't have plot and reasons why he did that.
They just kind of fought, and then they didn't do much.
yeah, and then when he finally did,
That's true,
appear-
though.
When he finally did appear during the training arc and totally thrashed Brian, and then like it got Peter got really mad, and then when freaking
It was pretty intense fighting, though.
oh yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
that
The
was
artwork was really great, and I appreciate the way that he summoned the power beers. Remember that?
Yeah, I mean, he could have used more, but yeah, that's one thing I kind of had a gripe with. He didn't really use all the beers he could have to fight the chicken
Didn't
during
he
that
like
point.
use only like 3 or 2?
I mean, I guess you could make the argument that he didn't really have access to them at the time, but I mean, Quagmire was standing like right there. You could have real quick handed him a few. But I guess maybe it's just because Peter was really mad. He was just kind of in the moment, and he just used the ones he had on him.
There's 6 power beers, right?
Yeah,
Like a 6-pack.
It was like 6
He already drank a couple for the training, and then when Chicken showed up, he had thrashed Brian. He drank the rest after the other few had worn off, and then like, that's all he wanted to fight him. And that's probably why he got beat up when he was fighting Chicken at first. Chicken, you know, that's the introduction of Chicken kind of got wrecked at first. When Peter asked, you know, to advance his strength, you know, develop his abilities.
What even happened?
To fight Chicken.
It wasn't at all implied that he had freezing powers. Like, at all. He just had that, and that kind of made me almost quit the light novel because it wasn't explained at all that he had freezing powers at all. Which, like, remember when he like froze one of the beers and then he couldn't drink it, which is why he was like kind of like he couldn't, which is why he got damaged more. Can't really speak.
Oh, good. Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
remember when he froze beers?
Yeah, Peter couldn't drink the beers because Chicken froze them. Yeah, that's right. He froze them solid. Well, I mean, I think that also kind of fell into like the whole shadow aspect. The whole idea is that you don't really know what Chicken's all about, you know, until like the very end.
Well, they didn't imply it at all.
Well, there was a few subtle cues, like the snowflake that landed on the window outside of Chicken's building complex, you know, the one that he owns is like the club president. It was like right before the final confrontation arc happened where Peter had to scale the building, get up to the top and fight Chicken in the final battle on top of the roof.
It's kind of a garbage part.
It ended really well. There was a lot of payoff. That part when they were
True.
fighting on the helicopter was really nice, I must say.
My only problem is that Peter didn't really have that much trouble going up the building. Like, in other mangas.
It goes to show off how far he'd come. Because in the beginning of the manga, he probably got totally thrashed by all the demons at him as he was climbing up the building.
Yeah, but they didn't. That's a good thing, yes. Like, at least some challenge of going up there. Because I'd imagine Chicken would, like, have at least some amount of good goons.
I mean, he had a few. The idea here is that he's come so far that he's pretty much on level with Chicken. Because why would Chicken hire so many goons that are close to his level that they could just overthrow him? Because obviously his business is rather evil. You'd want to make sure that your goons aren't near your level, but strong enough to put up a good fight, you know? And since Peter is at...
Alright, 3 more minutes of this, and then I'm turning my phone off.
Level, he could wipe them out just like Chicken could.
Right? Here's the thing.
And that's why he could beat Superman. See what I mean here?
Are you
He's on
implying
level
that,
with
Wait,
Chicken.
what?
Are you implying that Chicken is a... He was like, didn't he have like a drum leg boost in like the non-canon version?
He did. You're right. He could summon drumsticks. It was kind of weird, but at the same time, I think it was explained later that was just an aspect of his race. He looks like a chicken, but as it turns out, he's actually an alien from another planet. And they just had the ability to like remove their leg, and then it regenerates. It's kind of weird. But I mean, that, you know, again, it just feeds into the whole mystery. You don't know what Chicken is until you fight Mark. When you finally do confront him, you realize what a true monster monster evil he is.
I'm assuming with chicken, with the freezing, flying, and the drumstick boost, he could probably beat Superman, which didn't Peter beat chicken with the drumstick boost with everything?
But yeah, towards the end, he did kind of stab him with his own drumstick. But I mean, I wouldn't really call that like strength of Peter or really chicken. That chick was just kind of chicken.
Peter was close. Like I'd imagine he would have killed him if he didn't stab him with his drumstick and continued to fight.
Oh yeah, it was confirmed like halfway through the arc that Chicken said it himself. His ice powers were approaching like
this is
absolute
Gary.
zero levels.
Milton. Say, I just want to let Dan know that
I'm a 4.5 more minutes of this. We need to decide. You need to like come to a conclusion. Could Peter Griffin beat Superman, and how? Like the rest of this is just like you need some sort of conclusion. You've got all of this data just built up now. So, could Peter Griffin beat Superman?
I'm gonna say yes, because with the light novel, like if we're combining the manga and the light novel,
Like one is after the other.
Crash. But in the manga, I would say that he would have a tad bit more trouble, because with the light novel, he had just a lot more power to like do like 10 times more things. And I'm pretty sure he stole Chicken's freezing power, I think. So if Peter Griffin, with the light novel, froze Superman and used and drank a couple power beers while he was frozen, because Superman could probably just like laser beam his way out. He would drink a couple power beers and he could gain a humongous power boost equal and past Chicken's strength, which is like equal to Superman. So I would say Peter Griffin would totally be, like in the light novel, would like thrash Superman with like maybe 3 to 4 power beers, not even 6. Because he's just that strong at the end of the entire light novel. In the manga though, however, he doesn't have the ability to straight up drink a couple power beers because he can't freeze Superman, and Superman is really fast. However, since he has immense strength, I'd imagine he would get in maybe 1 or 2, which is still not enough to beat Superman. So I'm going to say that the manga loses, the light novel wins, due to the fact that Peter has like the power beat, like he can't really endure the amount of hits, I guess.
Patrick's got an argument coming.
So
you agree with me?
yes, but I am sticking with the manga side because it just has more plot. I'm just gonna say that the light novel would beat Superman.
I also agree. I think the light novel would definitely have a much better chance of defeating Superman. Not only because it's the epilogue to the manga, but just in general, Peter Griffin is just overall stronger in that reincarnation. And
1 minute.
I'm just gonna say right now, I understand the light novel gets a lot of flack from the community. I know it made a lot of artistic changes and integrity that kind of got the community a little upset. You know, the whole Peter eyebrow change incident, you know, I'm not going to go into that. But basically, the light novel is just, it would totally blow Superman out of the water, even more so than the manga versions. He would just win in every way.
So you agree?
Yes.
We good? We good?
Yes.
Alright, I'm done. I'm done with this. Is it too bright?
No.
Okay, good.
Is it playing?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. D&D session.
Little man, I give you one last chance. I'll give Arthur one more time. Goes, as long as you admit that you're a lover of man and hater of woman, I will help you.
We are both sensible men. I pay you, this is part of your job description. I pay you really good money.
He goes, ha! You paid me to help you? Ha 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 ha! I thought you paid me so that you wouldn't have to wet yourself every time I'm around. Ha 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 ha! He goes, little man, it is so hard to tell the truth.
Let's put it like this. The next time you and your wife are having sex upon my coffin, I might just slide out and have a peek.
He goes, ha! You'll be jealous of us. Ha 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 ha! Of her! You'll be jealous of her!
We have neighbors, by the way.
So, little man, if you so happen to peek at her being done by this, then I might have to glance at you and go, little man, it's fine. Desires are natural for your type like that. I like to point to her and say, one day you might find someone that pleasures her as much as he could pleasure you.
What?
See? Maybe I will find a person I can torture without them breaking.
Ha ha ha! You say I break her! Ha ha ha!
Recording not on the SD, but on this.
So, continue going.
Yeah, I wish I just started on the...
So, little man, if you truly want my help, training, just say the word.
I want your help training.
Not that the word. You know what I mean. That you're hating a woman and lover a man.
I hate
Say it.
I hate torturing women,
Not torture.
and I love torturing men.
Torturing them how?
Little man! You admit that you are hater of woman and lover of man!
Admit.
Admit, little man!
I love to torture men by cutting off their fingers and toes. Then
This
going
is
to
little
limb
man.
the limb.
It is funny that you desperately dislike yourself that much to lie. He says, just tell me. It doesn't have to be loud, he says. Whisper. Tell me that you are hater a woman, lover a man.
I am hater of man, lover of woman.
He goes, ha 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 ha
Ha!
hater a man, lover a woman.
Hater of man, lover of woman.
That is funny. You hate men, love women. Who are you joking? He goes, it is more apparent that you're a hater a woman, lover a man, because I've seen you do it with the men in that room of yours.
You are my servant. I pay.
He grabs your shoulder and crushes it with one grip, and he goes, little man, you pay me. Your fingernails are being bent backwards from the sheer pressure of his own muscles.
And I'm like,
Bending your own nails back. And he grabs your shoulder and moves the bone over here. So your shoulder should be here, but it's here.
I'm like, you are my servant.
And he
You
goes,
listen to me.
you pay me to not kill you. He goes, I help out. I do my job. He goes, but it is fun because you pay me to be not afraid of you. Because you're a lover of man and hater of woman.
Alright, wrap this up.
I kick him in balls.
You bust your kneecap, and he moves him, and he kicks you in the groin, shattering your balls sack, ripping the seam that
Wow.
you put back in.
Your balls are gone now.
For those of you that don't know, this conversation was between a very high-ranking vampire, the man that's on the ground crying in agony, and a demigod from Nordic legends.
Yeah, this will be
So-
explained.
My balls! There are not attached to my body.
He goes, because I got to kick you in groin, I'll help you one day. If you will cry more, you admit that you're a lover of man and hater of woman.
Ha 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 ha! Ha 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 ha!
He sits back on his couch in the living room, grabs his wife, and grabs a light and starts smoking one of the creations of Tony of yours. Okay.
We good?
Yep, I think that's